Good evening, all of you. So today we will talk on a fluorescence spectroscopy. In last few lectures, we had a discussion on spectroscopy, spectrophotometer, right? So today we will see about the fluorescence spectroscopy. Okay, so basically this fluorescence spectroscopy, it is a type of electromagnetic spectroscopy which generally analyzes the fluorescence from a sample. Okay, so it involves or it uses a beam of light, means any spectrophotometer there is a beam, right? So in case of a fluorescence spectroscopy, they uses usually ultraviolet beam or ultraviolet light which excites the electrons in molecules of certain compounds, and then it causes them to the emit light. That is generally a fluorescence, right? So the device which is used to measure this fluorescence, that is called as a fluorometer. So by this instrument you can measure the fluorescence of that sample. Okay, so now the principle of this fluorescence spectroscopy, which is based on a luminescence. Okay, so I hope you have an idea about the luminescence means what it actually. So the principle is like fluorescence is an emission phenomenon where an energy transition from higher to a lower state which is accompanied by the radiation, means there is a transformation or transition, like you can say from higher to lower, there is a transmission of the energy. So only molecules who are in a higher energy state, they only can emit the light. That is the basic thing about the fluorescence spectroscopy, means only molecules in their excited forms, they are able to emit the fluorescence, right? So they have to be brought into a state of a higher energy because there is a transition from higher to lower. So whatever molecules who have a higher energy or higher state, they should be in a higher energy prior to the emission phenomenon. Okay, so this fluorescence spectroscopy, it is a versatile technique that can be used to examine and characterize the wide range of unusual materials. Okay, this is very versatile technique. In addition to this, like this technique is also used frequently in the life sciences as a means of identifying and observing cellular features and processes also. Okay, and advances in the instrumentation used and the continuing availability of the novel fluorescent materials means that the scope and power of fluorescence spectroscopy continuously growing. Okay, um, so what is fluorescence spectroscopy? Basically, what can fluorescence spectroscopy tell us about the samples and conventional spectroscopy cannot, right? So fluorescence spectroscopy, it measures the photoluminescence, right, um, of a sample. So that is the light emitted by upon an excitation by a photons, right? So when a molecule absorbs radiation, it is excited to an upper electronic state. As I told you in a principle, key the molecules who are in an excited state, they only can emit the fluorescence. So you can simply say key when a molecule absorbs radiation, it is excited to an upper electronic state, and as it decays back to its ground state, it emits a photon of a particular energy, right? So the intensity of a light as a function of excitation wavelength, that is you can call it as a excitation spectrum, or as a function of emission wavelength, that is emission spectrum, both provides the information, and by that information you can quantify it. Okay, and also by that information or it means both excitation spectrum and emission spectrum, they provides information on the nature and concentration of the sample, right? So you can easily calculate the concentration of that sample. And the great advantage of this fluorescence spectroscopy over the other techniques such as absorption spectroscopy is that fluorescence is a background feed technique, so very small concentrations of analyte can be detected. Okay, and it is also more selective, so you can easily distinguish between the analytes by varying the excitation and emission wavelengths. Okay, and in case of fluorescence spectrometers, these wavelengths are selected by a monochromators. We'll see about it in the instrumentation part because it has like a major role of that monochromator in the fluorescence spectroscopy after the source and before the detector, right? So here is the instrumentation of fluorescence spectroscopy, which contains basic items. First one, that is a source of light. They usually uses ultraviolet light, right? Then sample holder compartment is there, and one is the detector. Okay. So in addition of this, to be an analytical use, this the wavelength of incident radiation needs to be selectable, and the detector signal capable of precise manipulation and the presentation. Okay. So in simple filter fluorimeters, the wavelength of the excited and emitted light, they are selected by that filter which is present over there, which allows measurements to be made at any pair of a fixed wavelength also. Okay, means that is the important role of that filter. So simple fluorescence spectrometers, they have means of analyzing the spectral distribution of the light emitted from that sample. So the fluorescence emission spectrum, which may be by means of either a continuously variable interference filter or a monochromator. Okay, so that is about the simple fluorescence spectroscopy, right? But in a more sophisticated instrument, like in a more sophisticated fluorescence spectroscopy, monochromators are provided for both, like the selection of exciting light and the analysis of sample emission. Means in this fluorescence spectroscopy, you need to understand one thing, ki the molecules who are in an excited state, they will only emit the light, right? So that's a basis for this काय आहे, principle of fluorescence spectroscopy, right? So this fluorescence spectroscopy, it is a technique that can determine sample photoluminescence. That is, luminescence means give a more attention for that word, photoluminescence. That is the light generated by the sample upon the excitation of its photon, right? So such an instrument, they are also capable of measuring the variation of emission intensity with the exciting wavelength, right? In principle, we discussed the greatest sensitivity can be achieved by the use of filters. So that filter allows the total range of wavelength emitted by the sample to be collected, right? So together with the highest intensity source will be possible. So this is generally introductory part, we can say, or principal part of that fluorescence spectroscopy. Means on the basis of that, this fluorescence spectroscopy work, right? In practice, to realize the full potential of the technique, only a small band of emitted wavelengths is examined, and the incident light intensity is not made. Okay, means is not made excessive to minimize the possible photo decomposition of the sample. Okay. Now here you can see the like essential components of fluorescence spectrometer, which are the parts are important for this fluorescence spectroscopy. They have given, like first one, that is there, you can see there is a light source, right? Light source, so you can use of ultraviolet light in case of a fluorescence spectroscopy. Then means all in fluorescence instrument, they contain these three basic items which I have already told you, like light, sample holder and detector, right? So first one, that is a light source. Commonly employed sources in fluorescence spectrometry have a spectral outputs either as a continuum of energy over a wide range. Means you can use a mercury lamp also. Means the first type is the tungsten halogen lamp you can use. Then later you can use mercury lamp. So it is an advantageous to employ a source whose output is continue. And the most commonly employed type is a xenon arc, which is used as a light source in case of this fluorescence spectroscopy. Okay. Then there is a excitation monochromator, or we can say filter, which allows different things which we have already discussed about it. Then next is the sample holder compartment is there. Then there is a emission monochromator or filter, and last one there is a detector, right? So this is a like you can say a schematic of a spectropolarimeter. You can see in a more detail about that, like xenon lamp is there as a light source, then slit, then is a sample cuvette, photo multipliers, detector, reference detector or sample detector to compare between that both of them, and there is a computer also by which we can analyze the data, right? Now I'll see one by one, like light source, then wavelength selection, means at which wavelength you can take OD or absorbance, right? By which you can calculate the concentration of that. So first one, that is the light source. So the example of the first type of is the tungsten halogen lamp, and the latter I told you already, mercury lamp you can use, right? Then wavelength selection, the simplest filter fluorimeters, they are use fixed filter to isolate both an excited and emitter wavelength. So to isolate one particular wavelength from a source emitting a line spectrum, a pair of cutoff filters are all that is required. Like here you can see there is a filter, pair of cutoff filter, right? Two they required. Then recently interference filters having a high transmission, that is approximately 40%, which has a narrow range, that is 10 to 15 nanometer of that wavelength, right? So it have become available, and it is possible to purchase filters with the maximum transmission. So filter have a very important role in this fluorescence spectroscopy, okay? Then the next, that is the detector, means by which detector means which detector is useful for this, that you can see, like all commercial fluorescence instruments use a photo multiply tubes. Like in instrumentation part you have seen there is a photo multiplier tube, right? So which is used as a detector, and a wide variety of types are available for that, right? So the material from which the photo cathode is made determines the spectral range of photo multiplier, and generally two tubes are required to cover the complete UV visible range, because UV जो का beam means the beam which is present on that spectrometer, it is a UV light, right? So that will be covered, that should be, means the requirement is that you need to cover the complete UV visible range, right? So the S5 type can be used to detect the fluorescence out to approximately 650 nanometer. S5 is the name of the detector which is used for fluorescence spectroscopy. But if it is necessary to measure emission at a longer wavelength, a special red sensitive, that is S20 photo multiplier should be employed, okay? So if you want to detect that or if you want to take a emission spectrum of that at a longer wavelength, you need to use a special red sensitive detector, that is S20 photo multiplier you can use, okay? So that is about the like you can say instrumentation part of that fluorescence spectroscopy, which is very simple. By means you can understand ki which type of detector you can use, which type of a filter you can use, like that, okay? Now I'll see the application, like advanced application of fluorescence spectroscopy. As I told you ki it has a application, means by which you can quantify it, or you can determine the concentration of that sample, right? So we'll see the application of this fluorescence spectroscopy. One of the main application of this fluorescence spectroscopy, which is used in among others biochemical, medical and chemical research field for analyzing the organic compounds, okay? So there has also been a report of it, its use in a differentiating malignant skin tumors from beginning, like your death, like you can say cell death, right? So in that also you can use. Then atomic fluorescence spectroscopy, which is like AFS, you can say. That technique is useful in other kinds of analysis or measurement of compound which are generally present in air and water or any other media such as like VAFs, yes, which is used for heavy metals detection like mercury. So in that also we can use this type of a fluorescence technique, okay, or a fluorescence spectroscopy. This fluorescence can also be used to redirect photons, in a fluorescent solar collector, okay. Additionally, this fluorescence spectroscopy can be adapted to the microscopic level, which is using a microfluorimetry, okay. And in analytical chemistry, fluorescent detectors are used with the high performance liquid chromatography. So these are the application of fluorescence spectroscopy, which are nowadays very important technique, and which is very versatile technique, right? Now I'll see the advantages of this technique, and it has some disadvantages also. In talking about the advantage of fluorescence spectroscopy is that it is very sensitive process, okay, and it can be used for quantitation of fluorescent species, means a sample who has a fluorescence, so we can easily determine the concentration of that sample. So it is one of the important advantage of this fluorescence spectroscopy, and it is very easy and quick to perform analysis method, like analytical method, okay. And disadvantage in which we can say not useful for identification, means by this technique we are not able to identify the means which molecules are present in the sample, like that, so we can't use it for identification. And not all compound fluorescence contamination can quench, and the fluorescence hence it gives maybe false and no results also. So that is also big disadvantage of this fluorescence spectroscopy, okay. So I hope you guys understand the instrumentation principal part of the fluorescence spectroscopy and advanced application of this fluorescence spectroscopy also, okay. Thank you.